Coming up on today's episode. Good Monday afternoon to you all, YouTube. It is 12:52 now on the 17th of July, Monday. I wanted to make sure I had the date in there so you know this is still sitting here from last week's video, and I have not done one thing to it other than getting it out as I did in the last video, I believe. I can't even remember if I did, but anyway, I've had my back problem that I had has not went away. I think it could be something else. I'm not going to elaborate on any of that because I don't like talking about stuff like that. I don't think you guys want to hear about it, and I certainly don't want to hear about it. But the reason I haven't been in here since then is because it's been kind of painful. Now, today it's not too bad. I had about the best night of sleep I've had probably in a month last night in bed, so I kind of feel pretty good this day. Still have pain, but it's not as bad. So, again, that's why nothing has been done in here. I do have packages out for delivery today. I have 2 coming from USPS and 1 coming FedEx. In fact, the FedEx package just got here before I started making this recording, and I got it inside. I have not opened it yet. I know what it is. That's gonna be a surprise. So, like I said, the other packages, one is something very similar to the one I just got FedEx, and the other one is the clock from this radio. Brendan has sent that back to me. There is no fixing it. He explained the reasoning behind that. He said he could not get it to work, and he finally, being as it was junk anyway, he decided to go ahead and take the motor out of it. He called it a capsule. I guess that's what it is. Anybody that's worked on clocks like that probably knows what we're talking about. It's a little self-contained, sealed motor is what it is. And basically, I think it's got some coils on it or something. Maybe the coils on the outer of it. But anyway, so he said he took it apart and found that the plastic gears inside were stripped. So from dried up grease inside. And, when grease basically turns to glue when it gets hard like that. So, anyway, but he did explain to me what kind of motor to look out for. And I did get on eBay, and I actually found one. Not the motor itself. He said you don't want to buy those because those are basically out of reach as far as money's concerned. And I did look, and they had several on there, but I think the cheapest one was over $100. So I wasn't going to go that far. I kind of want to have a clock radio in my bathroom, but I'm not going to go that far. So anyway, I found one on eBay, a radio that he said would work. He said that West Clocks or Seth Thomas, a General Time Corporation, is the people that made that motor, or, that put that together. And this clock that I bought on eBay, it matches both of those. It does say, I looked at the, description on the clock in the pictures, and it says General Time on it, West Clock. So it's just a little alarm clock. I think I gave $9 or something for it. But anyway, it was actually fairly close by in Scottsburg. You guys probably have heard me talk about Scottsburg before. Just a couple exits down I-65, and but their mail goes through Louisville when they mail something, and I didn't realize it was there, so they mailed it. It went to Louisville, then it went to Indianapolis, then it came down to Columbus, which is nearby here. And just like I think the last time I got something from out of Scottsburg, it went, I believe, to Madison, and this one went to Madison. So I don't know what it is about Columbus sending things to Madison that go here. You would think, being that close to Seymour, they know where it goes. But anyway, long story short, it's not coming. It was supposed to come today, and it's not going to be here because it is in Madison. So the deal is, I won't have that, but I will have the old clock back, and like I say, I'll look at it. We can look at it maybe when it comes and take a look and see what we can see. So hopefully when the new clock does get here in a day or so, we can take it, and it will be the exact same thing, I hope. The one I have coming has I don't know how you can see it, but there's a snooze button on top of that. And it has basically the exact same setup. It's a snooze button on top. So I'm hoping, it is the same setup and we can use that. So that's the hopes and dreams and whatever that. As far as this radio here is concerned, I think I'm going to go ahead and change out those capacitors. As I mentioned, the coupling capacitors there. There's two there in the middle, and there's one over here on this side, electrolytics, that I'm going to change out, as well as the two in this. I think there's two in this filter cap. So get those changed out, get that done. I mean, there's no sense in, even if it is just going to be a radio, if I can't get the clock fixed, it might as well work because I've got it out this far. Why would you put it all back together and not fix it? So, doesn't make sense. All right, let me get off here again. We'll come back in here and take a look at the clock when it comes in and go from there. So, all right. It is the next morning. I shouldn't say morning. It's actually 12:58, so that means afternoon. I got the clock in, as you can see here on the bench, from Brendan yesterday in the mail. It was kind of late, so I thought, well, I'll just wait till today to make this video, part of it. And so I think you can see, well, you can pretty much see there's a fresh solder there. I think he did something with the bulb here. He was telling me the bulb was bad, I think, is what he was saying. But anyway, so that is that. The clock to hopefully replace this unit is out for delivery today. I was glad it came today instead of tomorrow, because sometimes when they misship things, they get an extra day in there. So this didn't do that. It made it back to Indianapolis last night, I guess, and came on the I started to say on the bus, but actually it's a truck on the truck today to Seymour. So there you go. I've got that. Now I'm going to basically put this aside until that comes in. We'll maybe look at that a little later to compare it, hopefully when the new one arrives. But next up on what I'm doing is I'm going to replace these 4 small caps and get that done. But I'm going to take a picture of that so I'll know for sure with my phone, and I'll know for sure that that's how they go. And if something arises where I take them out and don't remember how they went back in, I'll know that way. So that's a good idea, don't you think? All right, let me get busy doing that. I've got to heat my soldering iron up, and so do stuff like that. And hopefully I can get this done, knock this out pretty quick, and we'll come back and see what we got. All right, we're back again. We are done now. I'll point these out real quick. This first one here, that one I said was a coupling cap, which I'm pretty sure it is. I looked at the circuit, and it does go to the volume control. That's 10 microfarad. The rest of these are all 2.2 microfarad. That's the other one there, and there's the other one there, and the last one's over here. So that is all the small ones, I guess, is basically, that's that. Now, what next I'm going to do is take this filter cap out, and basically, again, I see 100 microfarad and a 70 microfarad, so that will be in need of 68 and a 100. Looks like 150 and 50 is what the voltages are, so I get a 160. I think I might have a 160 100. I don't know if they'll have a 68, though. We'll have to see, but that's what I got to get next. And so we're going to do that and work on the outer rings that take the I don't know yet, but I don't think I'm going to stuff this because I just don't believe in it. Here's the thing, if it's easier for me to stuff this than it is to just put caps in, I'll probably stuff it. But if not, it's going to go in there however way they go. So there you go. Let me get to it, and I'll bring you back for that. All right, as you can see, the big filter cap is out, and there's our 100 microfarad at 150 working volts, 70 microfarad at 50 working volts. Now, one of the things I want to point out on this is the fact that, there's one other thing. This wire was connected to one of the posts on that cap. I think it was, let's see which one it was. it would have been this one here. No, this one here. It went that way, yeah. That one there. So that goes to our clock. I don't know if you remember that, but that goes to the clock. So I put that back. Now, the other thing that you need to be aware of is this is a ground tie point. Sometimes they do that, manufacturers do, because they, instead of having to make extra traces, they use a port that's common to all to make a tie point. On the actual traces, there is actually no connection between this point, and this point. So what that cap does, that big can, being a common can, actually, is what it is, it made contact with these 3 points, and that grounded these 3 circuits that were not grounded before. So, it's not a big deal, but you have to kind of remember that you need to put that back. In other words, if I just took the new capacitors and put them in where, to one of these legs, even say that one there, because that's the one for that clock wire, it wouldn't work. The other one would be not grounded, number one, and these have to be commoned. So, kind of something to look out for when they do things like that. Manufacturers, like I said, they'll save pennies and dimes wherever they can. And sure, Sears was no different. So, like I said, I've got to remember to do that. I'll just cut 2 pieces of wire to basically do that. And then, or maybe I may just use the leads from the capacitors if they're long enough. And then we'll go from there. But until then, and I do have the legend on there. So the square is the 100 microfarad and the triangle is the 70. And if we look at the layout, which you can always, your reference or index pen is this one here. It's the long one right there. So looking at that would make the triangle on the top and the square one on the bottom. So that's one of the that could be one of the you could call that one of the advantages of restuffing this, because you could just use the old can back. But like I said, that's a lot of work getting all that stuff out of there, and so I just soon they can sit right there on top of the circuit board. They're not hurting the thing, and they'll be firmly attached. So. Alright, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to get busy and look through my capacitors, find the right one that I need, and go from there. So that 50 working volts, I might have one of those on the other, I'm thinking. So I might have that one. So we'll have to look, but I'll be back in a little bit. Alright, well, I am back once again. This is Wednesday morning. I didn't get this done last night. I was going to do it last night, and I didn't do it. I just didn't feel like it. So I didn't do it. So if this is a day late, that's okay. No schedule here anyway. So as I left off, I think, taking the filter cap out. And I did not have, searched high and I searched low. I did not have any capacitors to fit the bill here. And they have been, like I say, ordered from eBay, local, well, I shouldn't say local, U.S. sellers. They should be here within a reasonable amount of time, I would think, I hope. So I'll get that done. As I mentioned, I have to make a ring around there to take up that for the grounding ring around there. I'll do that and get that done while I'm waiting for the caps. In the meantime, the other item I was waiting on did show up, and there it is, right there. This is a Westclox. A little bit wrinkled on the face there. I'm kind of wondering here, how do you get these apart? You can see there's no screws, there's no obvious holes other than this here, and that really doesn't do anything, I'm sure. You got your knob here, which that obviously is big enough to go through there, so that's got to come off from the back. So what I'm thinking is this faceplate, the clear faceplate, has to come off some way. There's got to be a Oh, some tabs in there. I've just got to search till I find those. I think I just found one. Yeah, so that's how that comes off. Hey, how about that? So obviously the hands would have to come off next, then the face, and then that gets us to the gist of the matter. And once we do that, I think, let's see if I can get these hands off here easily. Like that. I'm going to turn this over and put them in there. Not that I need these, but I want to save them. Now I can see already there is a little difference in this one because it has plastic where the other one has metal for the hands. So there is a difference there. So whether or not that's going to make a difference on the rest of this, I don't know. But we'll find out, I guess. Those are coming off far too easy. It's kind of like this has been taken off once before. Just a guess. So there's that. This is just a piece of paper, I do believe. Boy, I tell you what, they got cheap on these things, didn't they? I guess as long as it works, that's all that matters. Well, there's a cardboard backing. I can see right now that's probably not the same kind of mechanism. I could be wrong because there's, you know, the motor's behind there. So let's go on a little further. Let's get that out and see if we can. Let's see, it's held in at the bottom there. And it looks like it's held in there and there, and the top one will come out, I believe. It doesn't have a grab on it to where it has to come out that way, but probably not easy anyway. Figure out how to hold that down, I guess, and get some pressure on that. Let me put this off to the side. So, well, okay, I see this side is pretty loose here. I won't say loose, but it doesn't have any grab handles or whatever you want to call them things. In fact, none of this does, actually. Maybe that comes out like that. Of course, I wouldn't be that lucky. Try to see if there's a ring around that or something that would be holding that on. Does not look like it. Let me get my other glasses on so I can see just a little bit better. Okay, there appears to be a ring right there. I can't tell if that's a ring or just the break in the plastic where it goes around that. That's a hard thing to tell. But obviously it's got to come off from this end because there's nothing holding this end, and there is the other end. So, oops. So it wants to pull up the whole thing, it looks to me like. Even something popping up through there, I think. Well, maybe not. I don't want to totally break this thing. Not that I'm going to use it, but in case there's something else that I need. Oh, that's the light. I can see that now. So that's what that is. Doesn't really appear other than, let's see if maybe we poke on it this way. There we go. Put some, what do you call it, into it. I think this top piece, this alarm buzzer, whatever, sleep switch, I think that's part of the problem. I don't really know how to fix that. You it gets down pretty much all the way, so. This won't go. I'll have to study this a little bit more. Let me get this apart, and I'll bring you back and tell you what I did. All right, we have it out now, and unfortunately, it's not the right one. This won't work. Nothing like the other one, to tell you the truth. I kind of had that feeling when I was looking at it online. I thought, it looks a little too new. I'm thinking this is probably more 70s and 80s type stuff than older than that. So, you know, they're going to look similar, I'm sure, to the earlier designs. So, I'm going to call this a bust, other than getting me a nice little alarm clock here, which I don't need. So, anyway, that's this was just a matter of working it back and forth. I had to get this out. It came out through the top. I thought it had to go out through the bottom, but it went through the top. So, like I said, it is out, and I could put it back together now if I wanted to. But you know, I'm gonna show Brendan this, or actually I'll probably post the video or whatever, and let him look at it. But as you can see, there's no way that's anywhere near the same as the other one, because this has a quill on this side, and it you know, works it a different way. So so that's that. Like I said, interesting experiment, but a failure. So what I'm going to do, like I said, is go ahead and post this up on the internet. I may go ahead and just do it today, so Brendan will have a chance to look at it and see. But anyway, that's that. And again, not sure. I do have everything changed in this except for the filter caps. All the smaller caps were changed. The small electrolytics for them, those all were easy to change and worked no problem at all. So that's about it. One of the problems I don't have with it, but is if your clock doesn't work and you don't use the clock, then you got to either wire it in to get your power for your radio, and that's kind of sucky, but you know, it is what it is. So, like I said, it's just a lesson in learning, I guess, is what it is. Wasn't that expensive, but you know, at the same time, it was a waste of time. So, but you never know. Like I said, until you actually try it, you don't know what it's going to turn out to be. And certainly that was the case in this instance. So, I have looked online for another one of these clock radios. And if I ever run across another one, I may, if it's cheap enough. Of course, this one was $5. I don't know how you can get any cheaper than that. I wouldn't mind paying a little bit more if it had a working clock, but you know, just for the radio, it's not worth it. So, anywho, that's that. All right, you guys have a great day. Thank you so very much for watching, and I do really appreciate that. And we will see ya.